This episode of Into the Music is brought to you by Coda Music. It's a great way to discover new music and listen to all of your favorite artists for free. The link is in the description. In today's episode we're going to explore Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake may be the quintessential pop star of the new millennium, a star who jumped from platform to platform on his way to establishing himself as something bigger than a star. He was a self-sustained empire. Timberlake began his rise as a TV star, performing on the new Mickey Mouse Club as a child in the 90s, but he earned his superstardom as one of the frontmen for NSYNC, the most popular boy band of the turn of the millennium. Justin stepped away from the band just as its popularity crested, releasing the sleek Justified in 2002, its hit singles Cry Me a River and Rock Your Body establishing him as a force outside the group, and he consolidated that success in 2006 with FutureSex / LoveSounds, the album that generated his biggest hit, SexyBack. After reaching this pop peak, he decided to pursue other ventures, choosing to concentrate on acting and entrepreneurship. Recurring appearances on Saturday Night Live proved to be among the show's most popular spots, and he received acclaim for his performance in the 2010 Oscar-winning film The Social Network. After juggling numerous ventures outside the music industry, Timberlake returned to the top of the charts with help from Timbaland. Timberlake's journey to stardom began in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was born on January 31, 1981. He began performing early, appearing on the televised talent competition Star Search at the age of 11, singing under the name of Justin Randall. This was his first step into the big leagues, leading to him securing a spot on the new Mickey Mouse Club in 1993. This cast would prove to be filled with future stars. In addition to Timberlake there were the pop singers Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, actor Ryan Gosling, and JC Chasez, who'd later join Justin in NSYNC. The group manager Lou Pearlman assembled in the late 90s. Pearlman formed NSYNC after the cancellation of the new Mickey Mouse Club in 1994, taking Timberlake and Chasez as his anchors and adding Joey Fatone, Lance Bass, and Chris Kirkpatrick. NSYNC began their march towards stardom in 1996 when their first album appeared in Europe. 2 years later, their eponymous debut was released in the US and the group scored hits with Tearin Up My Heart, I Want You Back, and God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You. The latter reached the top 10, paving the way for the smash success of No Strings Attached in 2000. Within 1 week of its March 2000 release, the album sold an astonishing 2.4 million copies and set a record that stood for 15 years. After generating the singles It's Gonna Be Me and Bye Bye Bye, the group set to work on its next album, 2001's Celebrity. It was another massive hit, launching the top 10 singles Pop, Gone, and Girlfriend, but it proved to be the group's last album, as Timberlake's popularity was quickly eclipsing that of the rest of the group. It didn't take long for Justin to release his first solo album. Justified appeared a little over a year after Celebrity, and its gleaming, stylish surfaces, partially produced by the Neptunes and partially produced by Timbaland, suggested a new, mature, adventurous musician who was as much an R&B vocalist as he was a pop singer. Timberlake supported the album with a co-headlining tour with Christina Aguilera in 2003, and he ruled the airwaves with the singles like I Love You, Cry Me a River, Señorita, and Rock Your Body, not to mention the I'm Lovin' It jingle for McDonald's. He weathered a scandal in early 2004 when he tore off part of Janet Jackson's costume during their halftime duet at Super Bowl 38, but he bounced back nicely, winning Grammys that year for Justified and Cry Me a River. He also launched William Ross, a clothing line. As he worked on his second album with producer Timbaland, Timberlake found time to resume his acting career, taking on key roles in Southland Tales, Black Snake Moan, and Alpha Dog. Before any of these films appeared, his second album, FutureSex / LoveSounds, was released, preceded by the single SexyBack, a cool synthesized groove in the vein of Prince that established the tone for the album. SexyBack stayed at number 1 for 7 weeks, and its 2 sequels, My Love and What Goes Around ... Comes Around Interlude, also reached number 1 over the following year, a year that also saw Justin launch an international tour in support of the album. Following the completion of the FutureSex / LoveSounds tour, Timberlake slowly stepped away from music, though he was featured on 3 major 2007 to 2008 pop hits, Timbaland's Give It To Me number 1, 50 Cent's AO Technology number 5, and Madonna's 4 Minutes No. 3. He had other musical endeavors over the next few years, but his main focus was acting. In 2007 he had a voice role in Shrek 3, and in 2008 had a lead part in Mike Myers' The Love Guru. 2 years later, Timberlake had his greatest acting success as Sean Parker in David Fincher's The Social Network. He quickly followed this with roles in Bad Teacher and Friends with Benefits. During this period, he also appeared several times on Saturday Night Live. In January 2013, after investing in 3 Los Angeles and New York restaurants, he released a new single, Suit and Tie, co-produced with Timbaland. Along with a glitzy performance at the 2013 Grammy Awards and another SNL appearance, it set the stage for the 2020 Experience, released that March. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and eventually went double platinum, driven by top 5 showings for its singles, Suit and Tie and Mirrors. 2 months later, the Coen brothers film Inside Llewyn Davis, in which he co-starred, premiered at the 2013 Cannes Film Festival and won the Grand Prix. Part 2 of the 2020 Experience, recorded during the same session that resulted in the first, was released that September. It followed the first to the top of the charts, and produced 3 top 40 singles, Take Back the Night, TKO, and Not a Bad Thing. In 2014, Timberlake returned to the top 10 as a featured guest on Love Never Felt So Good, a track from Michael Jackson's posthumous album Escape. Can't Stop the Feeling, recorded for the soundtrack of Trolls, a DreamWorks production in which Timberlake provided one of the lead voices, topped the pop chart months ahead of the film's 2016 theatrical release. Timberlake also co-composed the soundtrack for The Book of Love, a film co-produced and co-starring his wife, Jessica Biel, released later that year. In 2018, Timberlake returned with The Danger, and Timbaland produced Filthy. Supplies and the Chris Stapleton collaboration Say Something followed shortly thereafter as the second and third previews of Man of the Woods. The release of his 4th album coincided with a halftime performance at Super Bowl 52.